Hey folks, it's Kevin. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I just put together this Glaze calculator and I thought I'd share it with everybody 'cause it's got some neat features that I think you're all going to get a kick out of. The link to get the calculator is going to be down below in the description. Um, and if you really like it, you can buy me a coffee at the link down below as well. So let's get started. As I was putting in some of these features, I kind of noticed that it was starting to get really complicated, and so I wanted to put together like just a couple videos to just sort of show how everything works and how to get this set up for your own Google Drive. So I'm going to start by just going over just like a quick overview. In the Drive folder, there's there's two different calculators. The first one looks like this, and it's got all the features that I'm going to show you. There's also a simplified version which looks like this, and this one is just a little bit more just a little bit pared down. It's a little bit easier to it might be a little bit easier to read if you're not totally familiar with how these calculators work. So this is a calculator based on the unimolecular formula, which is also called the Seeger formula, that I'm going to abbreviate to UMF. This calculator can store up to 24 glazes, although it can be expanded to store more or less if you want. And it can analyze glazes using both a traditional or an extended UMF calculating heuristic, which I'll explain a little bit more of in the future. It's got all your chemical analysis up at the top. It's got some charts that sort of help you like visualize what's going on, and it's got features that allow you to really easily compare two different glazes. So you can compare them chemically with each other. You can swap on the fly between traditional and extended UMF calculations. It's got volumetric testing tools, so you can take up to 5 glazes and devise tests to be performed in between them. And also it has the ability to export your information onto a text document. So the issue that I was having was I would have a lot of documents for all of my tests, and what I really wanted was to have one place there I could find all that information. So here's one that I exported earlier today. It's got the 3 glazes that are on that sheet that I showed you. It's got a link to get back to the original document, and it's got each glaze. So let me show you what you want to do to set this up. So to get started, what we're going to need is we're going to need a Google account so that we can access our Google Drive, and we are also going to recommend that we use Google Chrome as our browser. You get the best performance off of this particular browser, although it will still run on Microsoft Edge or Firefox. And what we want to do is we want to go to that link down at the bottom, and that'll open up this folder with a few files in it. You're going to want to select the latest version of the Glaze calculator and open it up. And the first thing we're going to want to do is going to want to create a copy of this file. So you're going to go to File, Make a Copy. And now we have our own copy of the Glaze calculator. And because we're making a copy, we can close the original file now. And you can see if we go back to my drive, we can see that now I have my own copy of the calculator file here. So now we're just going to do like a few minutes of setup to get all of our features working for us. One thing that I like to do is I like to bookmark this page so that I can come back to it and make a copy whenever I want. And one thing that's pretty neat is you can actually take the link to the original page, or sorry, you can take the link to your file, and in the URL at the top, what you're going to find is you'll find after a series of random characters and a dash, you'll see towards the end it'll say edit followed by a hashtag. You can delete that word edit and you can type in copy right there, and what you'll get is you'll get this page, which will prompt you to make a copy whenever you open this particular URL. And what you can do is you can actually make a bookmark of this. And so now I have a bookmark that I can open from my bookmarks tab that will allow me to make a copy of the file whenever I want one. Next up, what we're going to do is we are going to create a Glaze Journal document. So you're going to go to your Google Drive and you're going to go to New. That's a little plus thing at the top left, and you want to create a new Google Doc. Let's name this Journal. Then we're going to take the URL for this document, and you're going to paste it into the journal pane right here where it says URL. After that, you're going to follow the tabs at the bottom. Just scroll across until you get towards the end, and you're going to click on the Grid Tester tab. And to the right of this page, you'll find a link next to this table full of random numbers. You'll find this link here, and you're just going to click that and open that. This is a template maker that we're going to explain later, and this is just a tool that's going to help us with volumetric blends. And what we want to do right now is we just want to make a copy of this file as well. So I'm just making a copy from my Google Drive. This file is also available in that public folder, and it's just called Grid Template Maker, and you can access it there as well. So now I have my own copy from my drive. You can see it in my drive right here. And now I have my own copy. I'm going to copy the URL, and I'm going to just paste it right in this box where it says put your own link here. I'll just paste it right there, and you might get a warning that says heads up, don't edit this unless you mean it. It says shouldn't change this accidentally, so you just hit OK, and that will allow us to paste into this page. And so that's all of our setup. Last thing I want to show you is the chemical analysis table. That's the last tab on the document. And this is the ingredient table for the calculator. It's got every ingredient that the calculator recognizes, as well as the typical chemical analysis for that ingredient. And you might find that there's an ingredient here that you use but isn't on the list, especially if you're outside of North America. So what you can do to add an ingredient is, this is pretty self-explanatory. You would add the name of the ingredient to the leftmost table. So I'm going to call this ingredient X just as an example. And if you get this error window, that's fine. You can just hit OK, and you can hit this check mark here so that we can edit this page for the next 5 minutes. And you would just enter in the chemical analysis for this new ingredient, and you can find that online usually. And now if we go to use this ingredient, we can actually see that's now on our list of ingredients for us to use. If you want to sort this table alphabetically so that all your ingredients are sorted in a nice and easy to find manner, what you can do is you can select the entire table. So I'm going to select every ingredient, but I also want to select, and if you just hold Shift and click, you can select a range. So I'm just holding Shift and clicking, but you want to actually make sure that you select the entire table. If you only select the ingredients on the left, it's not going to sort properly. So you want to select all the way to the right, get the whole table, and you want to make sure that you're not touching the top 3 rows. You just want to get the table with the ingredients and the oxides. And then what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this and we're going to go to sort range. Make sure you're sorting by column A, which is the first column in the table, and then you're going to hit sort. And now we can see that our ingredient, the one we've just added, has been sorted into the rest of the table. So that's it for setup. This calculator is now ready to use, and you can use this as is. If the next video is going to talk a little bit more about actually how to use the different features, and after that we're going to talk about the volumetric blending tools. That's this tab over here, and after that we're going to talk a little bit about customizing your calculator, and also adding or removing tabs.